Video brought to you by some JBR. Now I gotta apologize for no week 6 video. I had a couple training days on Wednesday and Thursday that eliminated my movie making time. This week there will be no music, which makes it easier for me because tomorrow's a game. I've only had 2 days, so I'm quite tired. But so don't have a lot of time. Let's get right into it. Here is the week 6 review. Nothing is more devastating as scoring the third highest points, but yet losing to the highest scoring points. Three-time world champion defeats a team has no name, ending that 2-game winning streak and thrusting JB up to third place. JB leads this series 5-2. Nothing is as disheartening as winning and yet dropping in the standings. But Eric knows this one, as I Drink and I Know Things defeats a team in the North who started off 4-0 but now has 2 consecutive losses. Kara still leading the series 3-2. Still don't know what a Google Dog is and starting not to care what a Google Dog is, but Ambulance Bay finally showing why they've called Ambulance Bay, as a 42-point drubbing gives Dana a win there. This series is tied, 1 apiece. At what point are you going to change your name? Motive Urine gets a critical second win over JB's placeholder, which, let's be honest, JB's never getting back down there anytime soon. So Andy, you should probably change your name because you just got doubled up on. John leads the series 6-3. She changes her name and brings back the picture of Channing Tatum as Sun Tzu Kung is out, has a convincing win over hashtag Tony Romo's dad ban. Here it begins. Kyle's descent. Kyle once again goes 5-0, and now is going to begin his descent back to 5-5. Sunzo Gunzo keeps scoring the points, moving on up the charts, but big story here is Kyle's descent. Sam B leads the series 4-1. The Dingo 8 Jake Cutler is yet another victor over the abysmal season of glorious domination. Travis changed his name and is yet to gain traction, and where Sam B has changed her name back and has started to see success, I think Travis is going to keep on this track of making this work regardless, kind of like Mike McCarthy's offense. Doesn't matter if it's a sinking ship, he's going to keep it until it works. Travis still leads the series 6-3. 2 more people bit the dust today. We're down now down 3. Let's take a look at some survival pool to see where we're all holding up. We start off with the teams that have been eliminated and where they will be picking to where they draft. 10th, Dana. 11th, Travis by picking the Steelers, who got beaten by the Dolphins. That was a good pick, but surprised that did not work out. And in 12th place, Andy. It's good to see Andy finish in last place again. I know we pick on you a lot, but then you see things like this and it just validates why we pick on you. Now here's a list of people who have 1 strikes and where the strikes occurred because of tiebreakers. So John and Carol also picking the Steelers. They got their first strikes in week 6. Katie got a strike with Arizona in week 4. And Bob, I think Bob took Baltimore, whatever, but Bob's in week 1. Bob's in the worst position because if any of these other people get a strike with Bob, Bob loses that tiebreaker. So Bob, you got to kind of hold out from here on in. And then these people, JB, Eric, Kyle, Sam J, and Sam B, are still perfect. Which for any of you that have ever played a survival game or pool, this is kind of uncanny because usually a lot more people have been eliminated by now and everyone really has a strike. But so far so good, you're looking like you'll at least make it through week 8. Every year I like to take you and put you as an NFL football team to see how you are compared to other football teams. So here we go. Let's get right into it. Here is your NFL football team for the 2016 season. Our first team is Andy, and go fitting we're going to choose the Cleveland Browns because they're perennially always in last place. I could have picked the New York Jets, but they sometimes win. But right now, Andy, you are definitely the Cleveland Browns of our league. Sam B, being in 11th place, is heavily giving the Bengals, usually a playoff contender, not really always contending for much in the playoffs, but still a playoff contender. This year, kind of on the bottom half of everything, trying to figure it out and find out who they truly are. Uh, I think they'll figure it out and get on top, but for right now, you mirror the Cincinnati Bengals. John, usually a contender, is now a pretender. That's why we picked the Colts for him. Usually, you could have always penned in the Colts into the playoffs every year and winning one championship. But now, as of late, because of poor drafting, being old, and being slow, the Colts just can't seem to get it together. That's why poor drafting, being old, and slow is a perfect combination because that's who John is. If you penned John and the Colts into the playoffs, in the AFC, in the NFC, you penned in the Packers and Travis. That's right. Travis is always the team that would get there. Like the Packers, though, would always get to the finals and never win it or get bounced out early by something silly. And this year, Travis is in the bottom half, along with the poor performance of the Green Bay Packers. Similarities here is that Mike McCarthy is a better play caller than Travis. Another perennial playoff team that has fallen on hard times is Bob. Bob, that's why you're the Saints. At once, you were everybody's favorite team. They came out of the woodwork and everybody was a Saints fan. Now they're putting the bags over their heads and calling themselves the Bobs. That's right, the Aints are back. That's why, Bob, you are the New Orleans Saints. Katie, your team is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because every year we root for you. You are the Cinderella darling. Everybody picks you as the preseason favorite to surprise us all and make the playoffs and to make that run. But every year about this time we quickly realize, crap, we picked the Jacksonville Jaguars. Katie, we want to root for you. We like you. But in the end, you just don't have it and you break our hearts. Sam J is the Tennessee Titans. We don't really know where you're coming from. We really don't know where you're going to be. And we don't really know your true potential. But yet somehow, here you are, fighting your way into the top spots, just like the new Tennessee Titans are. So, Sam, keep fighting, because here you are. Let's see what you can do. Kara, you're fitting that you are the Denver Broncos. You didn't know what you were doing when you were drafting, and you kind of just placed out a team and be like, let's see what happens. And sure enough, you started off 4-0, but now you've lost 2 in a row, and here you are at 4-2. Like, we think you're good, but we don't know if you're good. So we, kind of fear you, but then we see you and we're like, oh, this isn't that bad. That's why you're the Denver Broncos. Eric, you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, you tend to be good, but then sometimes you lose for whatever reason because of something silly. And then when your team gets injured, there's just nothing you can do. Like when Big Ben gets injured, which always happens. So, and you're always a playoff team, and sometimes you're not, but you usually are. So you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm next, and this may be fitting in the sense of the fact that uh, over the years, at first, it was cool to see the Seahawks and JB win because you were like, finally, all the fans can shut up and JB can finally shut up. But then they kept winning and winning and winning, and championships and appearances in Super Bowls happened, and now we're like, all right, enough is enough. We're sick and tired of JB, sick and tired of the Seattle Seahawks, but yet somehow, no matter what they do, they always keep winning. JB, I am the Seattle Seahawks. Dana, you're the Buffalo Bills. Because last season you weren't really that good. And this season, nothing really changed. Like, seriously, nothing really changed. All of a sudden, now you're number 2, and you're a contender, and you're the highest scoring team? Like, what happened? Is Rex Ryan coaching your team? Because, yeah, nothing changed, and yet here you are. You are the Buffalo Bills. Last but not least, Kyle, you're the Atlanta Falcons. Why do I say that? Because it seems every year you start off fast, hot, and heavy. You come out, you charge to a big insurmountable lead, 5-0, 6-0, but then all of a sudden, boom, you realize that you're the Atlanta Falcons and you're Kyle and mediocrity is your game. Quickly you turn around and you lose a bunch in a row, and here you are finishing 500. Sound about right? This is your life story. Soar high, Falcons. You're the team of Kyle. Who can start by changing that motif? This is the second half of the season, really. So let's see who can make theirs better. But first, let's obviously start with the second half. It's Week 7 preview. In what was once a marquee matchup a few years ago, three-time world champion takes on Motive Urine. JB leads the series 5-3. In the battle of the best friends, the 87 Club, I Drink and I Know Things 4-2, is taking on Suns Out Guns Out 2-4, as Eric leads the series 2-1, as Eric is trying to keep traction up with the big dogs, while Suns Out Guns Out is trying to get herself out of the gutter and tie the series and put herself back into contention. Ambulance Bay is looking to make a third straight defeat for the team in the North, who once led by a dominating factor, but now is looking to go 0-3 in the last 3 to drop to 4-3. She's going to do everything it takes to stop it, but unfortunately, I think the pregnancy brain is finally kicking in. Kara leads the series 2-1, and yes, I get it. You're not pregnant anymore, but it's late. Get it? Google Dog, still somehow hanging around, gets the free win against JV's placeholder, who is 1-5. Dana, you now will lead this series 2-0, and Andy, you're 2 losses away from clinching your 10th straight consecutive losing season. The Dingo 8 Jake Cutler is next up on the domination train to knock down hashtag Tony Romo's dad van into getting him back to 5-5. Kyle leads this series 6-3. After a brief 2-game winning streak that has been stopped, Team Has No Name gets a perfect chance to restart that winning streak against Glorious Domination. Battle of 2-4s, as one will get one step closer to getting themselves into the championship, while one basically seals their fate into Andy territory. Travis leads this series 7-2. It is a very special fantasy profile because it is none other than me, JB, your three-time world champion. Woo! JB, I am 11th overall, 8th currently in the league. As you can see there, sub 500, way above 500 playoff record to give my overall 57, 56, and 1 for just over 500, which is surprisingly for how I played for 2 years. One of my nicknames is King Midas. That's because I held every championship except for the Pig to the Slaughter. I'm a 3-time champion, a 2-time Johnny Moxon scoring champion, a consolation champion, and yes, even a dumper champion. Overall, if you look at the total, I have held 33% of all championships in our league. I'm not going to go ahead and read off all this stuff here for you. You can kind of pause and take a look at it, but here's where it breaks down how I'm playing through playoff mania because I am 12-1 in the playoffs. The biggest story that comes out of this is that if Charlie knew that I was going to take a loss there, he said he was going to bench his players and allow me to get the win. That allowed me to go to 13-0, at the time 8-0. So I'm glad he didn't know because I didn't want him to bench to take a asterisk. There you have it, folks. Quickly thrown together hastily week 7 video. Sorry no music, sorry for no week 6, but after this it's all pretty even Stevens and clear sailing. So, for Vergaro, JBR, myself, a loss for Eric to the best friend match. I'll see you on the Fantasy Gridiron.